Hi everyone, in this tutorial we're going to look at the new Vector Blob Brush in Affinity. I'll show you how the tool works, as well as how you can supplement it with other tools in the app. I'm in the April 2026 version of Affinity for desktop, where the Blob Brush was introduced, so if you want to follow along, make sure you're on the most updated version of the app. Are you ready? Let's get started. The Blob Brush is standard in the default Vector Studio, but you can add it to any studio, including those that you create yourself. This is an illustration I started with a vase and a table, and I'm going to use the Blob Brush to add some flowers and leaves to the vase. But before we do that, let's look at how the brush works, starting with the Contextual menu. Along the top, you have a choice between a round and a square nozzle. You can set the size of your brush here, or you can use the left and right bracket keys on your keyboard. The stabilizer works the same as it does with the pencil and path brush tools. It's going to smooth your stroke, and you have a choice between rope or window mode. Rope mode is going to drag your line by a rope and smooth out your stroke, and the higher you set the length here, the more you can create sharp corners. Window mode is going to average sampled positions within a window and smooth the stroke that way. Now, the setting isn't going to create sharp corners as easily, but it can give you a nice rounded stroke. Either way, the higher you have this number set, the less control you have over your stroke. And finally, the controller is going to allow me to set how the brush responds, whether it's based on the type of device I'm using, pressure when using a pen tablet, or velocity if I'm using a mouse. So I'm on a Wacom with a pen, and I can set this to pressure and get leaf shapes that have some taper on either side. I'm going to make this a little bit bigger, and I'll just press out a leaf. You can see that I have a point on the one end, depending on which direction I go. Now, if you don't have a pen tablet, you can do this with a mouse by setting it to velocity. I will say I do find this a little bit more difficult to achieve leaf shapes, but it is an option. I'm going to get rid of these shapes and for now just set my controller to none. The Blob Brush allows us to draw a filled vector shape without the need to create an outline first using either the pen, pencil, or shape tools. I've got it selected and I have a green fill selected in my swatches. I could also add a stroke to this, but I'm going to leave that set to null for now. I'll just draw out a curved shape here. And if I hit A on my keyboard for the node tool, you can see that all of the nodes are on the outside because, again, this is a fill. Every fill automatically has one stroke attached to it, whether it's visible or not. Now, again, I had mine set to null, but I can go to my swatch panel, select my stroke, and turn it on. I can go to the stroke panel and make any adjustments that I would to any other stroke on any other shape. I can also draw with this on, so I can draw out another shape, and because the stroke is turned on, I have a stroke when I draw it out. You can build on a shape created by drawing intersecting brush strokes with the same color and the original shape selected. So I have that original curve selected and that green fill, and if I just draw out from a point that intersects that original shape, you can see it creates a single curve on a single layer. Now, if I deselect that and do the same thing, even though this intersects the shape, because I didn't have it selected, I now have two distinct curves on two separate layers. Now, even if I select a shape, if I create a brush stroke that doesn't intersect with the selected shape, it's going to be a separate curve on a separate layer. In addition to building on top of an existing shape, I can use the Blob Brush to combine shapes on separate layers. So I have those two original curves, and I want to combine them into one. So I'll go to my layers and I'm going to select both. You can see the point where they intersect right there. Now I could use the Boolean operations or the shape builder, but instead what I'm going to do is just zoom in here, and all I need to do is with the Blob Brush just click over the two shapes. I don't need to draw all over the entire shape. I just need to click at one point where they intersect. I'm going to add two more shapes here that are separate from that first one. If I want to combine all of these, I need to make sure that anything I want to combine together is selected. If I only had this one selected, as well as the original shape, if I click here, it's going to combine those two. But if I click here, where these two technically intersect, all that it's going to do is add an additional shape to that original one because this one wasn't selected. So I'll go ahead and select it. And now when I tap, it's going to add all of them together. One final thing that I want to show you is if you draw with a separate color and you want to add them together, the final color of the combined shape is going to be whatever one was on the bottom of the layer stack. So I'll go ahead and select this red color. Let's make it a fill. And I'm just going to draw out that shape. This one is on the top and the green is on the bottom. If I select both and I click with the blob brush, you can see that it's all turned green. Let's go backwards. If I drag this down to the bottom and select both, when I click, the final shape is red because that's what was at the bottom of the layer stack. You can use keyboard modifiers with the blob brush as well. If I want to create a straight line that snaps at 45-degree angles, I can hold the Shift key down on both Mac and Windows and drag out a line. If I want to create a straight line at any angle, I'll hold down Control on a Mac or the right mouse key on Windows and drag out my stroke. As I mentioned earlier, you can use the left and the right bracket keys to change the size of your brush. If I want to temporarily select the node tool to make an adjustment to a selected shape without moving away from the blob brush, I can hold down Command on a Mac or Control on Windows, and you can see that I get my nodes there. So I could drag this out, and the whole time I'm holding down Command on my Mac. I can add nodes, and as soon as I release Command or Control, it goes right back to the blob brush. If I want to move my stroke before I commit to it, I can start drawing and then hold down the space bar, and that's going to allow me to move it anywhere on the canvas. And as soon as I release, it's going to commit to that spot. Now that's a lot easier to do when your stabilizer is off. And finally, if I want to temporarily select the vector eraser, which was also added with the latest update, I can hold down Alt on a Mac or Option on a PC. And you can see that I have a red preview instead of the blue. Now I didn't have this one selected. That's why it wouldn't allow me to erase. So I'll go ahead and select it. And I can go through. And you can see that it still remains a single layer. I'm not breaking these into two shapes. I'm just erasing the center there. If I create a shape and have spaces that I want to fill in, there are several ways that I can do that relatively quickly. So let's say that I want to create a leaf shape for my illustration. Before I do that, I'm going to start with just a basic stem. So I'll grab my blob brush tool and I'm going to change the fill to this green, make this a little bit smaller, and I'll eventually put this behind the vase, but for right now, I'm just going to draw it like that. Now, I think that's a little too thick, but I like the curve of it and I don't want to have to start all over again. So one of the other tools that you can use in Affinity to supplement this tool is the offset or contour tool. I'm going to hit O on my keyboard, or you can select it there. And if I click and drag to the left, I can take that original fill and I can change it to whatever scale I want. So I like that right about there. I'll go ahead and bake the appearance that's going to set the contour. And now my stem is all set. I can go ahead and create some leaves. So I'll go back to my blob brush tool and I'm going to make this a little bit smaller and draw out my first leaf shape. So let's start with that. And I'll just draw this out. And you can see that I have that space in the middle. Now, I've created this already, but I can go back in, make this a little bit bigger, and just fill that in. Because remember, I can combine shapes with my blob brush. I can also fill in holes with it as long as I have that shape selected. The other way I can do it is to color it in while I'm creating it. So let's say I want to create one here. I can just keep coloring until I pretty much fill it in, release. And if there's any spaces that remain, I can just go over them like right there and get rid of it. A third way that I can do it is to remove the nodes that create the empty space. So if I want to create another leaf shape here, I can do that. And if I hit A on my keyboard, you can see that all of these nodes are what are creating that empty space. Now this gives you a little bit more control over what you're filling in. I'm going to hold down Alt on a Mac or Option on a PC, and I can just draw around these nodes so that I'm isolating just those and not selecting all of them. And once they're lit up in blue, I can just hit backspace to delete them, and I have a filled shape. Another way to do it is using the Vector Flood Fill tool. So I'm going to zoom into right here. Again, create that shape. I have the space that I want to fill. So I'm going to keep this selected and go to my Vector Flood Fill tool Now, the first time that you use it in a canvas, it's going to give you this red color. So you always want to select the tool first and then select your fill because it always remembers the last fill that you used. I'll grab that green color. I'm going to hover over this empty space and you can see that it lights up bolder than the others. I'll click. Now, if I deselect this, you can see there's a faint line because I actually have two separate shapes and I don't want that. But remember, I can use the blob brush to combine shapes. So I'll select my two layers and my blob brush and just click. Now, the final way is actually the easiest, but it's also the most absolute. In other words, it's going to fill every single shape. You don't have as much control. I'm just going to draw out the leaf. And I want to fill this space in here. Everything else in this stem is filled. So what I'll do is go up to the top to vector and down to fill holes, and it's going to fill in that space. So I have my leaf shape here. I'm just going to move this below my vase and maybe make it a little bit smaller. In addition to building on top of the existing shapes created with the blob brush, I can also use the blob brush to add to curves created with the pen, pencil, and even the shape and artistic text tools. Now for both the shape and the text tool, as soon as you add to them using the blob brush, they're going to get converted to curves, which means you can no longer edit them with their built-in tools. So you may want to consider creating a copy before you do it. I'm going to use the cloud shape here and this pink color, and I'm just going to drag out sort of a flower shape, and I'll change the number of bubbles to 6. So I've given myself the start of a flower, but this is way too perfect. I want to break this up a little bit, and I'm going to do that using the blob brush. I'll make my brush a little bit bigger, and what I'm going to do is just run this along the edge. And I have the stabilizer off because I'm trying to kind of rough this up and make it look less perfect, and it's going to be a lot easier to do that if I don't have the app controlling the smoothness of my curve. So I'm kind of dipping out here and there, and that's okay. As soon as I release, because I have that shape selected first, it creates a single shape. You can see I have these little cutouts here, but remember, I can just go up to vector at the top, choose fill holes, and I'm all set. Now I could add a lot of details to this flower, but I'm going to leave that as is. What I want to do is create a center though. So I'm going to make sure that my shape isn't selected because I want to create it in a different color. I'll select this, maybe this orange color, or maybe this kind of tan color. I'll make this brush a lot bigger. Now, I could technically just click, but that's kind of too perfect. Instead, what I'm going to do is just sort of create a shape that I kind of move the brush around. And because it's bigger, it's creating a nice circle. And all I'm going to do is kind of scribble in the middle to create that shape. Now, remember, this is a fill, which means I can add a stroke to it. Right now it's off, but I'll go ahead and turn on maybe this pink color. And what I want to do is go to my path brushes, and I have these textured flower brushes that I created for one of my Skillshare classes, which I'll link below. And I'm just going to click on maybe this coffee bean stamen brush, bring this up, maybe make it a different color, perhaps a darker color. Let's go with black. And I'm going to go to my stroke studio and just move this to the back. So you can take a shape that you've created with the blob brush and add to it, whether it's a stroke or you can continue to add different colors on top of this. I'm going to call my flower here done, but I want to group everything up and actually maybe make this just a touch smaller. And I'll group these two. Now I do want to make a stem for this. So I'll go back to my blob brush, go to my swatches and pick another green. I don't need a stroke. I just need a fill. And maybe I'll grab this darker green and just draw out a shape that I will then move behind my vase. So one final thing I want to note about the blob brush is this is a true vector brush. If I continue to zoom in here, this is infinitely scalable. You can see I'm up here at about 8,000% and I'm not getting any sort of pixelation. So you can create any shape you want and it's going to be infinitely scalable. So have you tried out the Vector Blob Brush yet? If so, what do you think? If you have any questions about what we've covered here, let me know in the discussion below. If you'd like my teaching style and you'd like to check out my full-length classes, you can find them on both Skillshare and my own website, The Creator Collage. You'll find the link to both below. I have lots more tutorials on the way, but in the meantime, you might want to check out one of these two next. Thanks for watching.